They're wrong. Yeah, that's not Mackey and Judd. This is the place where we just totally own our horrible predictions.
Write this down.
And eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Write that down.
It's Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
With Mackey and Judd.
All right. Welcome in to the most innovative and potentially career-risking segment in all of sports media. The only show in America that actually puts statistics next to our predictions each and every week here. This is Write That Down with Mackey and Judd and Declan, who's leading every category across both Mackey and Judd and Purple Daily, the football edition. How do you feel going into the last 2 months? I mean, this would be an unprecedented quadruple crown of Write That Down if you could pull it off.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. You know, right now from the end of the season, it's just more about squaring things up and making sure you're not chasing or trying to, pull the ball a little bit too hard. You just want to square things up and put them in the right spots. And, sometimes things will go long and sometimes you'll get outs. But that's where I'm at right now.
You want to stay within yourself, I think
there we go.
Is the key here.
Play your game.
Yeah. So here's how it works. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to participate, like Tim may or may not, we're having some trouble connecting with Tim. But you can send us a message through the Score North app, and then we'll get you hopefully scheduled sometime. If not this year, then early 2023. So less than 2 months to go in the 2022 Write That Down competition for prediction supremacy. And this accountability session is presented by our friends over at Spiral Light, who are providing purple positivity candles for all of these purple victories we've witnessed so far this year.
They absolutely are, because my friends at Spiral Light Candles, before the season started even, came up with the idea for a purple positivity candle. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's 6-in-1. It's looking genius. The Spiral Light candles, first of all, as they say, they burn spirally, but then there's a wick at the end that continues burning. In other words, folks, if you have these for a Vikings game, good or bad, they can be soothing, a great aroma as well. And if you are trying to find a gift or perhaps candles for Thanksgiving, guess what? Spiral Light Candles is the place to go. These candles are fantastic. There is a wide variety of them. How do you find them? It's this simple. SpiralLightCandles.com. SpiralLightCandles.com.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's get into the accountability session here. We'll start, as always, with our guy, Judd. Rough week for you, Zolgad. A lot of red here.
It's going south.
You said the Gophers would not cover the 14 against Rutgers. No faith in the Gophs.
Come on, Judd.
Yep. No, I didn't. I felt they didn't deserve it.
Why do you doubt the Gophers against bad opponents? They've been smoking all of, just not close games at all against the bad teams and can't do anything against the good teams.
I realized that. Yeah, I know. I was wrong.
The Wolves will beat the Spurs and Lakers in their next 2 games, which they did, and Cat will score 30 or more in one of those games, which he didn't.
Never should have doubled down on that one.
You had it there. You had it.
I know. I was a mistake.
And then you said on October 28th, the Wolves will play the Lakers, and Pat Bev will get at least 1 technical foul for antagonizing someone with the Timberwolves.
It was very kumbaya from Pat Bev. He still, it's very clear, has an affinity for this team. And so I was very disappointed. I thought it would be a little bit more, Pat P against the Cardinals, right? Yeah. Just a little more in your face. Not really. Felt like there was a lot of love between Pat Bev and the Timberwolves.
I give the fans credit because even though Pat Bev's been trying to make it I don't like Chris Finch anymore. The Wolves have soft players. He's been doing his Pat Bev thing in the media.
Yeah.
We see through it, okay? We know that you've been harmed in your basketball life, and what the fans did with the standing ovation is they said, "We still love you, Pat Bev."
Yeah, and my God, is he on a bad team?
We still love you, yeah.
God,
although, hey, Russell Westbrook came off the bench the other night. It worked pretty well. They got a win. They doused Darvin Ham in water in the locker room after their first win.
That is so pathetic. A LeBron James team poured water on its coach for its first win of the season.
It's hilarious. Okay, I actually had a pretty decent week. We'll start with the bad here. I said the Wolves will start at least 5-2 on the season. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous that they couldn't start 5-2 with that. Not as soft of a schedule as maybe we thought, but come on. This is kind of a bad beat here. I said Jim Polab will give his approval about the front office in an interview sometime in October. So he did do an interview like 2 days ago with Charlie Walters in the Pioneer Press.
Mm-hmm.
But I combed through all the quotes.
There's nothing about the front office.
It's just about Carlos Correa.
Yes.
And, okay, since we're on the subject here, this guy is there a more like just cardboard cutout owner in all of baseball? What does he do? Just sits there. Okay, so
counts his money.
Here's the quote. Jim Pohlad is emphatic in his desire to have Carlos Correa back. I'm not sure if I'd use the word emphatic here, Shooter, but quote, I'm totally on board with him coming back. Definitely. Absolutely. I love the guy. He's a huge asset and a benefit to the team. But I don't know how it's going to go. It probably didn't work out exactly for him the way that he wanted it to last year, Pohlad said. So maybe it will this year. I don't know. Well, how much will it cost? Shooter asked. Quote, that's the issue. He's got an aggressive agent, and they're going to test the market. I don't know what it's going to yield for them. It's really too early to tell. Like, is there a less inspiring owner of a professional sports team?
Well, the greatest part is he starts off with this really strong,
definitely,
Carlos
Correa, definitely, but he's going to want a lot of money, so I don't know.
At the end, he essentially says, but he won't be back. Don't worry about it. God. No, there's not. And I have a feeling, because Charlie definitely asked Pohlad about the team, right? I wonder if Jim said, I don't really want to talk about that. Like, it's very weird that there's not a quote, to your point, about the front office.
Maybe he has heard us ripping him for the A+. The last year, they finished in last place, and he gave him, in literally the same time of year, during the playoffs, same shooter, right? And he says, it's an A+. Derek and Thad are A+. Okay, well, wow. What about the front office for Atlanta? What's Alex Anthopoulos? If those guys are an A+.
A+.
Anyhow. Okay. I said the Wolves would beat the Spurs and Ant would drop 30 or more points. That's like a first row in left field Joe Mauer home run. You guys helped me craft that as a home run. Yep. And then I said Jalen Noel will drop 20 points or more in a game before January 1st.
With room to spare.
Absolutely. A couple months to spare. Listeners had one thing come off the board. Arturo said Justin Jefferson will score at least one touchdown in Arizona, which did not happen. And we'll finish the year with double-digit touchdowns. And then, Dex, you had two things come off the board. You said the Astros would win the World Series in 5 games or fewer. They cannot do that now mathematically. But you did say the Wild would pick up at least 6 points between last week and this week's. Write that down. They beat the buzzer last night with a couple of points to get to exactly 6 points in the last week. So with that, Declan sitting at 436 with 14 home runs, leading in both categories. Judd at 348 with 9 home runs. I'm at 305 with 12 home runs, trying to catch Declan in the home run category. Listeners at 301 with 11 home runs on the season. All time, Judd leads with 248 career hits. Listeners lead with 30 career home runs. And I think we got our guy Tim in here.
We do.
So let's bring in the guest listener predictor.
Good timing.
Tim.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
What's up?
What's going on, dude?
Hanging out. It's early here on the West Coast.
It is early on the West Coast. When did you become a Minnesota sports fan?
I pretty much grew up Minnesota sports fan. I mean, I was born in Minnesota, just outside of Minneapolis, and my family was pretty much Minnesota sports fans all the way through. I mean, I went to both parades for the Twins. You got the North Stars. Unfortunately, they left, but Neil Broughton, Dino Cicerelli. I mean, and every Sunday, Vikings games. That's what it was.
Yeah, love it.
Tearing up, Tim. I'm tearing up. Great memories flooding back.
Yeah, go back to kind of the
showing my
era.
age.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I do every day.
So here's how it's going to work. We're going to start with Tim. We're going to go around the room 3 times. The predictions must be quantifiable, and that's pretty much the only hard and fast rule here. So, Tim, you are
Write this down.
You are in the batter's box. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with a Vikings prediction. It's my mom's 80th birthday on Thanksgiving.
Nice.
So we're going to go with a nice big turkey dinner, and then we're going to watch the Vikings. And Kirk Cousins is going to redeem himself on national TV. He's going to hit 250-yard passing at least. Let me rephrase that. At least 250 yards passing and at least 2 touchdowns. And the Vikings and O'Connell will win that game against Belichick on Thanksgiving Day.
All right. I think that's
Write that down.
It's a 3-item parlay that seems to qualify for a home run there, and that would be a nice little national TV game performance for all involved, including Kevin O'Connell.
Write this down.
All right, Judd.
All right. I have seen enough now. The Big Ten West and what it has to offer. So write this down.
That's just not a whole lot.
The Big Ten West champion will not go to the Rose Bowl. So the Big Ten West champion, Illinois, probably is going to play Ohio State almost certainly in the Big Ten championship game. Ordinarily, you would expect that team that is defeated, and I think Ohio State's going to wax them absolutely, would then be taken by the Rose Bowl, which is not part of the playoff. But because the Big Ten West is such a joke, and because Michigan's a good team, the Rose Bowl will take Michigan off the record.
Okay. This is where I hope to write that down. Karma gods come and strike Judd down. The Rose Bowl generally takes the second best team in the Big Ten, not the team that comes out of the other division. And you have Michigan and Ohio State as top 4 teams in the country right now. Now, they could both make the college football playoff and then make it more likely that they go further down the ladder to grab a team. But right now, the whoever loses the Michigan-Ohio State game is more likely to be
in the
Rose Bowl team.
That's what I'm
unless
saying.
they both make the
which they won't.
The national championship playoff.
Which they both won't.
We'll see.
One will.
So
Big Ten West
champion.
champion.
It's kind of a bunt.
You know what?
I get it. You had a tough week. It's fine.
Go to Tampa. Go to Tampa Bay. Go to Detroit. Go wherever you want. Just don't go near Pasadena because you're frauds.
I would put Brett Bielema in the Rose Bowl and
Write
see what
this
happens.
down.
See what happens. Up against Chip Kelly. Brett Bielema and Chip Kelly. UCLA and Illinois in the Rose Bowl. No?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Declan, our batting champion here.
All right, I'll go with a Wolves prediction here. Write this down. Anthony Edwards will drop 30 points between now and next week's. Write that down.
Okay.
So I think there's 3 games between now and next week's. Write that down. Regardless, by the time we do this again next week, Ant will have dropped 30 points in a game. Write it down.
All right, you guys, a couple guys protecting batting averages here. That's fine. Fine. He already has 3 30-point games. Like every other game, he's dropping 30.
You're lashing out a lot right now.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to.
You're lashing out a lot. You know
I'm trying
what?
to
Tim's
uphold
here.
the integrity of write that down.
Tim's our guest. We invite him into our house, and you are lashing out at your family.
Okay, I'm going to make a Wolves prediction that I think goes beyond
Write this down.
just searching for a hit here. Okay, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is on this Jordan McLaughlin D'Lo conversation. Write this down. Jordan McLaughlin will play more total minutes for the Timberwolves this season than D'Angelo Russell. Now, right now, it's not particularly close, but this will either involve Jordan McLaughlin playing more. If they stay on the team together all year, it will mean Jordan McLaughlin essentially takes over for D'Lo, or it'll mean that they trade D'Lo.
Okay.
So write it down. They're gonna do what's right, which is put the actual straw that stirs the drink in the drink instead of the guy that just knocks the drink over and spills it
Write this down.
every single night. So, okay, back to Tim here.
All right, write this down. Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Boldy, and at least one other Minnesota Wild will have more points at the end of the season than Kevin Fiala. Write that down.
Okay. Is Fiala off to a hot start? What's his situation right now?
He's I think 11 points, and I think Kaprizov has 12, maybe 13 after last night, and Boldy's at 8, and Zuccarella's probably the next guy, but Addison could come on, or
Boldy
All
over
right.
to Zuccarella.
Write it down. You like
Back to
writing things
Kaprizov.
down.
Judd, your second
You
prediction.
guys are so unfair. I mean, Bally Sports North, all they do is try and give us great content.
Dude, do you guys see, I know you see these. The highlight of Bally Sports North is Anthony LaPanta's food pictures on Twitter.
Oh, easily.
I don't know what his budget is at Kowalski's every single week, but
Great
he is
Sunday
literally
dinners.
cooking filet mignon and drinking like mid to top shelf wine every night on Twitter. And
where's our
all I
insight?
want is to I want at some point to be invited to Anthony LaPanta's house for dinner, like a Sunday dinner.
Filet
I just want to put that. I'm just going to throw that out into the universe.
for the UK.
Anthony.
Red wine?
Back to cabaret.
Let's get it.
Write
There's
it
a-
down. You like writing things
There's
down.
a fighting chance that the LaPanta's food budget surpasses the value of my home. There is a fighting chance of that.
If the salivating pictures are any indication, that could be the case. Okay, Judd,
All right.
your segment.
I predicted this last year. It didn't happen, but I'm going to stay with it because I think it's going to take place this time around. As they were last year, the high-pressure Toronto Maple Leafs are off to a poor start again, okay? So write this down. The Maple Leafs will fire their head coach Sheldon Keefe this season. In season.
Okay.
So, like, not at the end of the season. They are going to fire Sheldon Keefe at some point in season. They rebounded last year, made the playoffs, of course got ousted. But I think this time in that market, it's going to cost him his job.
Right now, according to sportsbettingdime.com, for whatever that's worth, this is actually from a couple weeks ago, so it might be outdated. Sheldon Keefe is indeed the odds-on favorite to be fired, the first coach fired.
His odds have probably improved of being fired, too, since then.
Where's Boods on here? Is Boods, maybe Boods was not part of the preseason favorites to be fired.
He probably wasn't, but he is now.
Now he is, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see him on this list.
Must be Boudreaux. Yep.
Fiala,
Dave Hackstall with Seattle was second on this list.
Oh, Hackstall.
that's your guy. Fiala, 3 goals, 13 points so far, by the way.
Okay. That's a pretty good start.
Top 5 most intimidating guys I've ever interviewed in my entire life, Dave Hackstall. Not because of who he is, just the way he looks. He's scary. He's a scary looking guy.
He's an old school hockey guy.
I feel like most hockey coaches look terrifying.
And 19-year-old Declan was maybe a little shaking his little recorder as he was trying to interview Dave Hackstall in St. Cloud State.
But really, if you're a hockey coach, because hockey's so random, like the only 2 things you can do are just like change lines and try and spark something and look menacing so that players are scared to mess up.
Makes
Like
sense.
if you've got those 2 things down, you can stick around for at least 2 years as a hockey coach.
If your F-bomb game is not high, you suck as a coach.
Yeah, you got to work on that.
You got to have a good F-bomb game.
Dex.
I'll do a long play NHL prediction as well. Write this down. Marc-Andre Fleury will pass Patrick Waugh for second most wins of all time by the end of the Wild season. So
Marc-Andre Furry is the name of his
Furry.
cat, actually.
Yeah,
He's got a cat
I can
named
see
Marc-Andre
that.
Furry.
I can
Not to
see
confuse
that.
the dog,
Yep.
Mark.
The flower.
That would be Bark
Andre
Andre Fleury.
Fleury.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
That's which is actually really cute. I love what a good doggy. Good boy. Who's a good boy?
He needs 26 more wins to tie Patrick Waugh for second most all time. As Phil gets choked up even thinking about that.
That's a good prediction.
But Marc-Andre Fleury will pass Patrick Waugh by the end of the season for second most wins by an NHL goaltender.
Okay.
Write this down.
Probably
All
zero.
right. Write this down. I'm going to make a Twins prediction here. Do we have a date on when the Twins' new branding comes out? Isn't that happening in the next week or so?
I think in a couple weeks. I think like the 17th, 18th. I'm spitballing, but like in
Okay.
a couple weeks.
All right. What is it?
So write this down. When the Twins' new, and it includes its new uniforms and some new branding combined, but it's definitely new uniforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So when the Twins' new uniforms come out, I will run a Twitter poll at Phil Mackey with 3 options. The options, so the question will be, do you like the Twins' new uniforms or the Twins' new branding? And the answers will be yes, I like, no, I don't. And the third will be, who cares, make the playoffs? And I am here to predict that, and this is the write that down, Dex. At least 50% of people on that poll will say, who cares, make the playoffs, instead of yes or no.
Okay.
Write it down.
Okay.
I think people couldn't give a hoot
Of course
about
they will.
these uniforms.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a bunt, but it's
a bunt.
It's a creative bunt.
It's a creative
Oh
bunt,
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
Take a bow. Take a bow for a creative bunt. Yeah, that's just
Write this
great.
down.
From what I heard, there will be the official date will be in November. More to come. That's what I got from
That's
think
what your
it leaked-
sources are telling you.
that's my sources are telling me.
I think it leaked out yesterday though, as far as the logo goes on Twitter.
Really?
Did it?
Yeah, somebody. So there's like a baseball Southwestern themed hats being sold now, and a Twins one got taken down immediately. It's the TC, more like it was in the '60s.
I'm just gonna. So I've had a Twitter search for Twins' new logo. I just want to see here.
One of the Twins.
Curious. So you saw a picture of it?
Somebody who is a diehard on Twins Twitter saw it and it got taken down, and they tweeted it out. And
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
So this isn't going to help the YouTube audience. Maybe we can, as Twins Zealot pointed out over his must-follow account earlier tonight,
he's
is
good.
from Twins Almanac.
He's gonna
New
offend.
Era Cap has almost certainly accidentally unveiled the Twins' new TC logo prematurely. So it's just it's the same logo.
It's
What am I
close, yeah.
missing?
It's more like I think it's more like it was in the '60s, but it's not like completely distinctively different. Yeah,
It doesn't look different at all.
but I'm good with that. I don't want them to get cute, so I'm good with that. Don't get.
I want
too
them
cute.
to win a playoff game.
Yep.
In fact, they
Not
should
me, I
have to
want
keep
good
the
merch.
same exact uniforms until they win a playoff game.
You know what I am? I'm us kids. We want the merch.
They shouldn't be allowed to wash their uniforms until they win a playoff.
You know what?
Write this down.
You know what? Protest by instead buying from our merch at Score North.
ScoreNorth.com/shop. ScoreNorth.com/shop for your Purple Daily themed merchandise, including the Victory Monday. Here, let me find this here. There we go. Victory Monday hoodies and shirts. Beautiful. We've got the Before I Die, just one Before I Die hoodies and shirts. Purple Daily themed swag. Score North beanies and caps. That's ScoreNorth.com/shop. Okay, enough
Write
of
this down.
the shameless plugging here. Let's get to Tim's third prediction.
I was going to go with a Hackstall prediction, considering I went to the University of North Dakota and so did my mom.
Okay.
Or I should say my wife, sorry. I'm going to change it up. Since you guys are having a big party at the Washington for the Washington game, I'm going to go with, I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a good game. I think he's going to go back there. I think the Vikings will score 3 touchdowns. The defense will help them out and get at least 2 sacks. And Greg Joseph will not miss a field goal or an extra point.
Now that's okay.
Write that down.
This is a home run. For sure.
Absolutely,
Especially
yeah.
with the Greg Joseph, who's just rapid fire missing every game.
Yeah, he's not doing well, but I think he's got to turn it around, or they'll have to do something.
Yeah, at some point, come on, guy. Let's make an extra point here. So, Tim, great work here. Great, love you taking some swings here. Since you've got this life-changing platform on Mackey and Judd right now, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that brought you to this peak moment?
Well, I'd like to thank my wife for putting up with the emotional roller coaster of Minnesota sports. She comes with me. We travel a lot. We watch Minnesota sports. My mom and dad for bringing me up Minnesota sports. And quick shout out to my buddies Steve-O and Georgie, who travel with us a lot, and their wives. They travel with us. Man. We go see Minnesota. And thanks to you guys, man. I love you guys. I started watching a couple years ago. Keep it up.
Tim, thanks for finding us. Appreciate your loyalty, and we'll definitely get you on again sometime, all right?
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, dude. That's Tim, guest listener predictor. Great stuff here. Judd, before we get to this final round here, why don't you tell people why you're so skinny these days and how you've been able to keep it off?
Oh, that has come through the hard work. I was going to say magic. It's not magic. The hard work of my friends who have helped me, Livia Weight Control Centers. And now the very important thing is I said weight control. It's not a diet. It's a plan that helps you drop the weight and most importantly, keep the weight off. If you join now, first 8 weeks are free. Imagine all the weight that can come off in those first 8 weeks. It is free for the first 8 weeks. And I want to challenge you right now too, right? Because fall is here. It's going to get cold outside. And a lot of people now retired to the couch and they're watching games and that's all great. But you know what? Imagine if you take this opportunity to start to lose weight too. So that by the time the football playoffs arrive, let's say you're down 25 pounds, you're going to feel great. It's this simple. 855 go LIVEA. Livia.com, LIVEA.com. Take the opportunity now to drop those pounds. So by the time that we get to March, you're feeling great again. Livia.com.
Write them down. It's like a personal contract with ourselves.
All right, you're up. Third and final prediction, Judd.
All right, third and final prediction. This guy got an assist last night. He did not get a goal, but write this down. Marco Rossi will score his first NHL goal by the time we do this segment again next week. For context, there's only 2 games. Seattle Kraken, the hated Kraken on Thursday at the X, and then they start a road trip next Tuesday against the Kings. So Marco Rossi in one of those 2 games will score his first NHL goal.
Nice. All right, Dex, your third and final prediction.
All right, I had that prediction, but I will. I'm going to change it up. I will change
to a hat trick. Marco Rossi will get a hat
I'm
trick.
not going to do a hat trick. I'm not going to do that one. But I will give you a primetime parlay for football. I will give you another I've been 0 for 2. I've gotten the first 2 legs of these, and I get burned on Monday night. So primetime parlay. Eagles beat the Texans tomorrow night. Chiefs beat the Titans on Sunday Night Football. And the Ravens beat the Saints on Monday Night Football.
Okay.
Eagles win, Chiefs win, Ravens win.
All right. You got to get back on track with these primetime parlays here.
I do.
These are good ways to rack up homers too, because aren't we? These are usually classified as home runs because you're predicting 3 NFL games. So, all right. My final prediction is also an NFL prediction.
Write this down.
The San Francisco 49ers will come from behind and win the NFC West this season. I actually think the Niners might be one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the NFC, period, by the time the season's over. Need to see a little bit more, but the Niners will come from behind and win the NFC West. Sorry, Rams, and sorry to the Seahawks.
Write this down.
So there it is. Those are our predictions for the week here. The only show in America that actually puts statistics next to our predictions. Mackey and Judd, please click subscribe on the Score North YouTube channel and also the Purple Daily YouTube channel. We are closing in on 50,000 combined subscribers between those 2 channels. Thanks to all of you. Appreciate you. And don't forget, this Sunday, Purple Daily Surly Watch Party at First Round over at Mall of America inside Nickelodeon Universe. We're going to be there for the entire game, hanging out. We're going to meet as many of you as possible, and then we're going to do a live edition of Vikings Vent Line on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. So please come and say hi and cheers a Surly, and we're excited to see you all at First Round inside Mall of America on Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow for Reckless Speculation Thursday on Mackey and Judd.